Most truck engines don't just wear out, they're slowly being killed by heavy loads, extreme heat, and the small things drivers ignore every day. The cost of neglect isn't a $5,000 repair, it's a $15,000 engine rebuild and weeks of expensive downtime. The scary part? It's 100% preventable. Just 10 minutes once a month can save you from breakdowns and catastrophic failures. Follow these simple tips, and your diesel engine could easily outlive the truck itself. And wait until you hear the final one. It's the obvious secret for manual transmissions that turns a 150,000-mile workhorse into a ride-or-die legend that goes the distance. Let's dive in. Part 1. The operator's protocol, fluids and filtration. 15. Use the correct diesel fuel grade. Attack the cetane. Gasoline engines rely on octane. Diesel engines rely on cetane for proper, complete combustion. Cheap out on diesel, and you're sacrificing cetane rating, leading to rough running, reduced power, and incomplete combustion that quickly clogs your diesel particulate filter, DPF. Your professional advice is simple. Always source high-quality, high-cetane diesel fuel. This ensures clean, efficient combustion and prevents the carbon buildup that kills expensive injectors and emission controls. And God forbid, make sure you're using diesel and not gasoline, ladies and gentlemen. 14. Maintain the crankcase ventilation CCV system. The crankcase ventilation system in a truck is under constant, massive attack, managing pressure and heavy soot produced by diesel combustion. If the CCV filter clogs, that pressure has nowhere to go, forcing oil past seals and into your turbocharger. This will force high oil consumption and deposit sludge right back into the engine. Your professional advice is to check the CCV filter or mechanism according to your service manual. Ignoring it is how engines get choked and seals blow. 13. Drive long enough hauls. Short trips are a death sentence for heavy-duty engines. They generate soot and moisture without ever reaching the necessary heat to burn them off. Your engine is suffocating. Your professional advice is this. If your truck often makes short, local trips, plan a regular, longer 30 to 60-minute highway run. This allows the oil to fully cycle and gives your DPF system time to properly regenerate, preventing the $3,000 cost of a forced regeneration or a nasty DPF replacement. 12. Don't run on low diesel fuel. Running a diesel on near empty is catastrophic. Diesel fuel helps cool the high-pressure fuel pump, HPFP, a multi-$1,000 component. When you run low, the pump sucks up air, moisture, and tank sediment. Your professional advice is to refill when you're around a quarter tank. This saves your HPFP and prevents air from entering the lines, which can lead to expensive bleeding and priming procedures just to get your truck running again. 11. The once-a-month ritual. Truck engines are destroyed by neglect, not design. The simple 5-minute once-a-month ritual is essential. Pop the hood and give your engine bay, chassis, and hitch connections a visual inspection. This habit catches things like cracked differential housings, loose suspension U-bolts, and leaking injector lines. Small problems that escalate exponentially under a heavy load. It's the foundation for all truck longevity. 10. The fluids rule. Every fluid is working overtime. Truck engines are notorious for consuming oil, especially turbo diesels. Your professional advice is to check your dipstick every single time you fuel up. If it's dark, gritty, or low, fix it immediately. Low coolant levels are even more critical, as overheating a heavy-duty engine guarantees major component damage. You must know your fluid levels. Also, if you hear something that sounds different than it has, don't wait. Get it checked by a mechanic ASAP. You know your ride best, so trust your gut. 9. Examine the heavy-duty air filter. Your air filter is the lung of your turbocharged engine, and it is under constant assault from dust and dirt. A clogged filter chokes your engine, forcing your turbocharger to create massive internal heat while starving the cylinders of air. Your professional advice is to replace your heavy-duty air filter on schedule or sooner if you see frequent dirt or dust. This prevents reduced turbo performance and avoids dangerous strain on the engine. 8. Look over belts, hoses, and turbo connections. Belts and hoses fail catastrophically under truckloads. A snapped serpentine belt while towing is an emergency. Your professional advice is to inspect belts and hoses monthly, but add the turbocharger system to your list. Specifically check all turbocharger intake and intercooler boots. These rubber connections operate under high boost pressure. A loose or split boot causes a massive power reduction and dangerous strain on the turbo. Part 2. Load management and safety. 7. Check battery terminals and dual batteries. Many trucks run dual battery systems for high electrical demand, winches, accessories, and cold starts. A weak connection in one battery affects the entire system. Your professional advice is to check all 4 terminals and the interconnecting cables for corrosion and tightness. A clean connection is the only way to ensure your complex electrical system and cold weather starting reliability. Anytime you are having an issue, start here. It's wild how frequently a vehicle comes into the shop with a no start, and it's just a weak battery terminal connection. 6. Inspect tire pressure and load ratings. Tire pressure in a truck is not just about fuel economy, it's about stability and managing the load rating, ply count. Underinflated truck tires are a blowout risk under load. Your professional advice is to check tire pressure weekly using the max PSI rating found on the door jamb for the loaded vehicle. Stability, safety, and insurance starts where the rubber meets the road. 5. Listen for turbo/exhaust sounds. Your truck has a whole new orchestra of sounds. As I mentioned before, your professional advice is to use and trust your ears. Listen for unusual turbocharger sounds, whining, scraping, which indicate bearing wear. Also, listen for loud hissing sounds from the engine bay, which usually means a leaking intercooler boot or a crack in the exhaust manifold, a massive power drain that costs you fuel and horsepower. 4. Look under the truck. Focus on drivetrain. Truck leaks are severe and must be caught early. Check for leaks around the transmission pan, differential housing, and transfer case. Your professional advice is to pay attention to the axles and drive shafts. A tiny drip means a seal is failing, and if the gear oil runs dry, the differential will instantly seize, costing thousands. 3. Check transmission fluid if accessible, high-stress component. Truck transmissions, especially those used for towing, run much hotter. Your professional advice is to check the fluid color and level. If it's dark brown, black, or smells intensely burnt, the fluid is damaged due to overheating. This requires immediate service to prevent internal failure. When the transmission for a car or mid-size SUV is costing $10,000 plus on replacement, you don't really want to know the cost of a new Cummins. 2. The quick idle and rev test. Listen for diesel knock. Listen for the engine's distinct rhythm. Your professional advice is to listen for signs of diesel knock, a sharp metallic rap, which can indicate dangerous fuel timing issues or injector failure. Also, listen for a rough idle, which often signals a clogged fuel filter, a critical component in keeping the HPFP safe. 1. The final tip: use the parking brake. This is the single most important habit for preserving a manual transmission and preventing catastrophic rolling. When parking, especially on an incline or with a trailer, use the parking brake first. For manual transmissions, parking in gear without the brake puts an immense sustained load on the gearbox internals. Your professional advice is always to engage the parking brake, then shut the truck off, ensuring all mechanical stress is handled by the brake system. This is the difference between parking safely on a grade and risking a runaway truck. And there you have it. You now know the 15 habits that separate a reliable workhorse from a costly liability. And the difference between a truck that dies at 150,000 miles and one that powers through to 1 million isn't the brand. It's the owner who pays attention. By dedicating just 10 minutes a month to these checks, you stop fighting your equipment and start conquering the road. Now, if you found this guide helpful, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to Make Car Go. We're here to give you the insider knowledge that saves you money and keeps your machine running forever. One last piece of advice: never postpone an inspection just because the truck seems fine. The most expensive breakdown is the one that gives you no warning. Drive strong, drive smart, and take care of your truck like it's the valuable business partner it is.